Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Happy New Year. First live stream of the year. And here we are over here. All right, so 2026, it's going to take me a while until I'm going to get used to saying 2026, but it is what it is. A new year, a new set of opportunities. And I do know that I don't really have any sort of image for you guys right now, because I don't know why. I haven't used my webcam since we had the last live stream, which was quite a while ago. I think it was about 3 weeks ago. And I just need to do some settings with it that I just didn't take care of, unfortunately, but don't worry, I'll do that starting tomorrow. Anyway, what we're looking at right now is gold just driving higher, 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 which it's basically what I was expecting it to do. I wasn't along a little earlier, got out too early, but I'm glad that I got out with profit. If I would have held this trade more than I did, I would have passed a new funded futures account with Top Step. But it is what it is. I just made 2% profit instead of 6%, but it's still good. I can't complain because prior to that, I was actually in a drawdown. So what we're looking at right now, and just to explain to you guys a little bit the reason why I took the trade a little earlier. Okay, so we're looking right now at the 5-minute time frame. We were looking at gold taking out the buy side liquidity above 12:30 a.m. New York time over here, and then breaking and closing under the swing low at 12:55 a.m. New York time. I was initially looking for a short trade, and basically I was waiting for price to come inside this bearish inversion fair value gap that I'm drawing right here, and it eventually did that right here. I took a short, but I didn't really take it right at the top over there. I did take it a little later, and then eventually price took me out around here. But then noticing price starting to push higher, also break above this high, and starting to create bullish fair value gaps, it was quite clear to me that we were first going to visit the swing high here at 325, basically just taking out, basically just taking out London kill zone high. And then I was also looking at price revisiting a 4-hour bearish fair value gap here, which it did that. But yeah, you can see that it actually did a lot more than that, but it is what it is. Right now we are inside a 4-hour inversion fair value gap, but to be honest with you, I'm not really sure that it's going to stop anytime soon. Also looking at silver here, because you guys know I do like to compare gold with silver a lot. Looking at silver here, I can definitely see how it's creating and respecting bullish fair value gaps on the higher time frames. Also, that's basically a clear indication of price wanting to go higher. And not only that, but we can clearly see how price is really eager to break and stay above swing highs, break, close above them, and stay above them. So yeah, also we do have SMT buy side liquidity on silver at this all-time high. However, I'm not really sure we're going to cover all that range. We might actually stop around the 50% mid, the midpoint of that wick, which is going to be around 81.60-ish, something like that. I'm just going to mark this area here. So that's wick 50%. Okay, and yeah, judging by the moment, oh, look at that pop here on gold. Judging by the bullish, super bullish momentum that we're seeing on silver, I can only trust the fact that this drop here on gold, you know, right after Christmas was mainly, possibly, most likely a fake out liquidity sweep. And if we're gonna go to the higher time frames, yeah, excuse the way my chart looks right now because it's just a mess on the higher time frames. But if we're just going to go on the weekly chart, we're gonna see that it actually visited the low of the December 15th week, which basically we had a busy over here. Well, it didn't really do it here, but it did that on the futures contracts. Right now, like I said, we are inside a 4-hour bearish inversion. So we might see price have a little bit of a pullback. We'll see. But I wouldn't be that confident in looking for short setups unless we would actually see a nice shift in market structure on the 5 minutes, or at least a clear bearish fair value gap. That's also going to create a clear bearish inversion. So yeah, we'll see if that happens. I wouldn't really trust the 1 minute right now for bearish setups, simply because the higher time frame momentum is extremely bullish, and I just would not trust that. So yeah, I hope you guys can hear me just well. So what have you guys been up to? Happy New Year. Hi, Patricia. Happy New Year. And thank you so much for the nice words. I really appreciate it. Okay, so I was actually thinking to have like a Q&A, you guys. So if you guys have any questions for me, preferably trading related, but you know, if you want to get cheeky with it, you can go ahead and do that, and I'll just decide whether I will answer your question or not. But yeah, preferably so that the entire community benefits from it. Preferably, I would appreciate it if you guys would just resume to trading related questions. So if you go in the live stream chat, you will be able to see a Q&A session starting, and I'll just answer everyone. So the latest trend, asking here, which prop firm do you trade with? So I trade FundedNext. I also recently started Top Step, which is futures on futures, and I also trade Neom AAA funds, which it's really good, especially their pricing is really good. So if you guys don't have a lot of budget, you can actually go towards Neom AAA. I'm actually just gonna leave the link. Just give me a second. sign in. Because Neoma, like I said, they're legit. They do pay. They're also having lots of offers usually. And if you guys are going to use, you know, you don't have to, because yes, it is an affiliate link. But if you're going to use the affiliate link that I'm just going to leave right now in the that I'm going to leave right now in the chat, you guys will be able to see that you can actually have, I think it's 40% discount if I'm not wrong. So neomaaa.com, and you can go to purchase a challenge, and then you will have the option to apply. Okay, here it is. The option to apply a discount code. If you just use either the link that I've provided, or if you use code RBV, you will have that discount, which is, it's a good discount, by the way. So just take advantage of it, because I'm also using other traders' discount codes. Like, for example, I usually use Prop Firm Kids discount code. But he has a smaller discount than I have, so you can go ahead and use my code. I would use my code also, but I'm not allowed to do that, so yeah. All right, so let's see here, because you guys are asking a question. How do you find futures compared to CFDs? Oh, it's surprisingly addictive, I would say. Especially, I never thought that I would like a trading platform more than I like MetaTrader 4, because I've been trading inside MT4 ever since I started trading, like, I don't know, 8 years ago, 7-8 years ago. And I rarely have been trading on another platform. I also used at one point, but it was mainly for the purpose of me demonstrating the fact that I'm trading a live account. I was using a platform of a broker, RoboForex. Their platform is an award-winning platform. It's called R Trader or something like that. You can only use it only if you have an account opened with them. And I was using that back in the days when I started to be really active on socials with Instagram Reels, showcasing my trading activity and whatnot. But I actually never thought that I would get to enjoy Top Step X and also NinjaTrader. Honestly, I never thought that I would get to enjoy those platforms that much. And in regards to trading overall, I think it's amazing the fact that you don't have slippage, that you don't have spread. So yeah, it's amazing. It is a little annoying, the fact that you have to pay a monthly subscription fee. And if you forget about that, and for example, you log in, or you're thinking that, oh, let me just log in really fast to the platform so that I can take this trade, which I've been monitoring on TradingView, which that happens to me. And you just realize that you did not pay your monthly subscription fee, and it's annoying. And first you have to pay that, and then, yeah. And by the time you do that, you just lost the opportunity to take the trade, but it's fine. But yeah, futures compared to CFDs, I'm definitely not sorry for giving it a try. Definitely not sorry. Let's also have a look at what is going on here. So yeah, we're probably gonna have like a deeper pullback. Or maybe, who knows, even a reversal, even though I don't really think so, but we'll see. For now, we just have a tiny bullish fair value gap on the 5 minutes, sort of like being inverted. I'm talking about 950. I'm not even sure if it is an actual FVG there. Yeah, it sort of like is, but it's quite small. We'll see. Now there is some SMT sell side here around 44.76. Because we did have that 940 candle being lower on gold than it was on silver. And actually going a lot deeper than that. Sort of like here where you guys can see that gold just had a small tap inside this huge BC at 930 and then it went up. Silver did not do that. Yeah. 1 minute looks pretty bearish, but like I said, I personally would not really trust the 1 minute for this, for a short setup. I'd still want to see the 5 minute creating a bearish FVG and then tap that, and yeah, you already know the rest. Patricia asking, what is the suggested amount to trade with in an account should one want to live off trading only? Given North American standard of earning 100K a year as a basis, I realize there are no guarantees. So North American standard of earning is 100K a year. That's around, I would say, $8,000 per month. 8,000 to 9,000 a month, say something like that. Just think about it like this. If you have a proven system that could bring you no more than 5% every month, so that you will not actually have to how should I say? So that you will not actually have to put a lot of pressure on yourself. Because, you know, between 5 and 10% every month profit, I think that's quite okay. It's achievable. It's not hard to achieve it. It's something that you can do on a monthly basis consistently without putting a lot of pressure on yourself. And it's also not that small of a percentage, not that small of an amount that it would not motivate you to trade your system or whatever. So I would say that anywhere in between 5 to 10% per month, if you have a proven system that can consistently bring you that kind of profit, I would say from there you can calculate if that 5 to 10% per month would fit inside your $8,000 threshold a month, so that you can have that, you know, North American standard of earning of about 100K a year, and you just calculate from there. And you can easily achieve that with funding. You really don't have to start with your own money. You really should not start with your own money, because we are talking about big capital. Not everyone has, you know, I don't know, $50,000 to $100,000 to deposit into an account so that they can make $8,000 a month, you know, $5,000 to $8,000 a month, without actually stressing too much about it, without putting too much pressure mentally on themselves, and without risking too much capital. So I would say, why not go funded? You would invest a small amount of money, a lot smaller, because, you know, to have access to a $1,000 account, especially if you're trading futures, with Top Step, for example, you only pay like what, $80 to get access to 100K account, and you just have to do $6,000 profit to get funded, and then you can withdraw. You can make your payouts every time you reach your consistency rule, which is 50%. So every time you make $3,000, you can actually withdraw that. And if, let's say, you make, I don't know, 2,500, 3,000 every week or every 2 weeks, you can actually withdraw that. You can request your payout. And think about it. If you're going to do this, this is just talking about one account, and you would only pay like $100 for that. And you only, the other, so to speak, payment, but not an actual payment, but the investment, the other investment you would do in this account would be time. You would invest your time in such an account, right? Because you would have to give it a bit of your time so that you can actually pass. But, you know, that's actually good. So yeah, I would say just go for funding, and at that point, it doesn't really matter what your starting capital is, because then you can put aside a certain amount of money from your payouts and slowly but surely build your own capital, if that's exactly what you want to do. Okay, let's see what is going on in here. I like the way Price created this 10-10 bearish FVG over there. It's really nice. We didn't yet have a tap of that. However, that's basically inversing 952 BC here on the 1 minute, and it's also sort of like inversing the 950 BC on the 5 minutes. But like I said, I still wouldn't trust this on the 1 minute. I'm just tape reading, and that's all. Also, if you take a look at it, you'll see that gold is sort of like just seems to be going lower, but not really. Silver is just keeps on creating higher lows. So this might just be, you know, a liquidity sweep for gold, just a pullback. I'm just going to take a fib and put it on this last bullish price leg we had here. Yeah, just slightly under 50% level. If we're going to break under there and close under 50%, it's likely going to, yeah, it's probably going to go lower. Where is the next area it could be drawn to? Definitely here, 44.66. And then if we move beyond that level, most likely we're going to go down to 44.52, which is just establish a new New York kill zone low, and then potentially the low of the Asia session, which is right here, 44.28. Of course, it doesn't have to happen all in one day, but I'm just saying. I can also sort of like see how we had some sort of a bearish SMT here, where, let me just go ahead and draw this. We had a bearish FVG forming, and then gold sort of like gravitated towards it, but not really. Point is that it did create a lower high, whereas we had silver here creating equal highs. So we see silver creating a resistance, and then gold just respecting that bearish FVG. But like I said, again, we're talking about the 1 minute being slightly bearish in a very bullish higher time frame context. So I'm not really sure what it's exactly doing. But we did have that, you know, that change of character, shift in market structure, whatever you want to call it, where it did break and close under 9:40 a.m. swing low here on the 5 minutes. So it wouldn't really mean a lot to me, because just look at silver, still very strong and still respecting this last BC over here on the 5 minutes. Plus, we didn't really reach that 50% wick. It has quite a lot to go till there, but we'll see if it does that. 10:22 already. It moved a lot, you know, like gold moved quite a lot from its opening, like 600 plus pips, points, whatever you want to call it, $60+. It's like gold already covered its average daily range, you know. Hi Alex, Happy New Year. Hello, Ian. Do you trade multiple cloned accounts or just one at a time? I currently trade one at a time. I only have one Top Step account, and I know that I mean, from what I'm familiar with, from what I know, I'm only aware, I only know of being able to clone the accounts inside the Top Step X platform. I haven't been really actively looking for a way to copy my trades on other challenge accounts or funded accounts across different prop firms. I'm not even sure I can do that. But if you guys know that I can do that, by all means, just hit me up with a DM on Telegram, because I'm really curious how I can do that. So for example, if I have a FundedNext account, a Neoma account, and also a Top Step account, and these are, some of them are challenge accounts, some of them are futures, some of them are funded accounts. Is there a way that I could just you know, send all my trades to all of them at once? There has to be a way. I'm just not aware of that. But if you guys know how I can do it, I would really appreciate it if you would enlighten me. Doop, doop, doop. What means those red-green colored candles? That's actually an indicator that my boyfriend created for me, and those are fractal candles. Fractal candle basically means when you're looking at two correlated assets And you're seeing that, you know, two directly correlated assets should both move in tandem, right? When one goes up, the other one should also go up. Those colored candles actually mean that whilst, like for example, this candle, 130 on the 30 minutes, whilst that candle closed bullish on gold, it actually closed bearish on silver. So that's basically a crack in correlation in regards to that half an hour. Also, if you're looking at the current 30-minute candle, you'll see that it's currently showing red because the candle currently on gold, it's bearish. However, on silver, it has a bullish body. So that can actually tell you whether you're looking at a crack in correlation or not, that it's just taking place right now at the level of that specific window of time that's currently being traded. That's what those candles are showing. So for example, if you look here on the 30 minutes, the 30-minute candle is bearish, whereas on silver, it's very bullish, the current candle, right? So this could basically be indicating that we're likely to see gold just sweeping liquidity or retesting, for example, the high of the London kill zone that it broke and closed above, and then we might actually see it go up. Because during these 30 minutes of trading, these two pairs seem to have been a little out of sync, right? So that's basically what it means. I mean, look at silver, still creating higher high, and did have here also SMT divergence, which if you're going to look at it, that's a sequential SMT divergence. You know how I would trade this? I would look for price to break above here on gold, and I'd likely go long with my stop loss just under the 1020 swing low and target 44.91. That would be slightly over 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And then I would move stop loss to break even and then just leave it for 1-to-2 or something like that. And I would totally abort that idea if silver would break these, or you know, this SMT divergence here. If silver would break that SMT divergence to the downside, I would abort the idea of going long on gold. I would not consider going short. However, I would just sit on my hands for now. Can you do a video on how to use platforms like MetaTrader 5? I use CTrader and I'm used to that, but funded accounts tend to be on MT4, MT5, etc. It's really easy. Honestly, it's really easy. And I'm not really sure if it makes any sense for me to make a new how to use MT4 or MT5 type of video, because I'm sure if you're gonna take a look on YouTube, there's gonna be a lot of people doing that. Unlearning 12, the guy who asked, what are those red-green color candles, said, those candles are named PSP on quarterly theory. Usually indicates a reversal. I had no idea. I had no idea. And what does PSP stand for, if you don't mind me asking? Ah, my boyfriend told me. Pivot swing point. Whatever that is. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay, so you see how we didn't really break above that swing high? I wouldn't really be in a long trade at this point because I would want to see price break and stay above there. So you're not just putting a pending order above that high being broken. Okay, you would have to see it, you know, how should I say, at least close the candle above there, you know, above that high. And right now, if you're looking at it, you can see how this is turning a little bearish. Because we have a nice SMT divergence here, but don't really have reasons to consider that it could actually continue to go lower. Not on the 5 minute. Okay, let me just remove some of the drawings here because I know that they can be quite annoying. I'm also going to remove that trade here, like that. Okay, so apart from this bullish fair value gap here at 945, that price created, rebalanced, and then went up above it with clear bullish momentum. Apart from that, I'm not really seeing a reason why gold would all of a sudden start to go down. No, I wouldn't see a reason why I would have a bearish setup here, okay? And like I said, I wouldn't really trust whatever's going on the 1 minute for a short setup. As for the 5 minute, there is no bearish fair value gap forming so far. And there is no clear bearish inversion fair value gap for now. 15 minutes the same, 30 minutes the same. I would dare to say actually that we might be looking at, that we might be looking at gold probably or potentially just, you know, tapping this 30-minute BISI here. We'll see what's the exact reason for it going down. Bottom line is that right now I would not be in a short. And yeah, because we didn't close above here, I wouldn't be in a long either. Yeah, it is what it is, but it is melting. Okay, so if we're gonna see it, you know, close, break, close under this area, 44.65, we're likely gonna see it attack New York low, and then probably lower and lower. Who knows? We'll see. And I think we're sort of like seeing silver getting dangerously close to that SMT BSL area, the one over here where I said that if it's going to invalidate that area, then I'm just going to give up on the idea of going or looking for long continuations on gold. We'll see. Yeah, so that area was already taken out. Now it's really important to see what kind of reaction we're going to get from here. Because we did hit this bullish order block over here. Honestly, looking at it just drop like this, I think there's a lot of traders going short right now, and I think I would really love to see them win on this. Really. What are you guys asking here? How do you use the price range icon on your chart? Price range icon. You mean this one? Measure? Or what? Which one? Price range. Because I don't use it, most likely. If I don't know what you're talking about, I'm probably not using it. Yeah, you guys see gold and silver just doing their usual stuff. If we could just close back above that range that silver broke under, that would be great. Because it would mean that it's just reclaiming that level, and I'm sure that you can actually see this huge SMT divergence here in between Q2 and Q3, the 90-minute quarters, Q2 and Q3. But it is quite tricky, you know, because right now we're just retesting on the other side that 30-minute inversion, which I would love to see that being reclaimed. Did we create any 15-minute SIBI? No, but we did create a 5-minute SIBI. So I'm just going to mark that over here. Okay, pay attention to that. And see if it respects the mean threshold of that 5-minute SIBI. Yeah, so we're likely going higher. Or at least this is what it looks like. Bullish takeover. We'll see. You see also this minor change of character here, which was also on the 5-minute. It also occurred on the 5-minute. The 940 swing low on the 5 minutes, that's being retested right now. Anyway, so much for those who are short. They probably already got sort of like scared after 130 pip pullback. Ma'am, one doubt how we should know the trade continuation. Well, it's simple. You would only consider a reversal if your higher time frame is bearish. And the lower time frame bullishness that occurred till that point would be considered just a pullback. How to identify the trade continuation? Is it possible or not? Is there any methods to achieve it? Yeah, of course there is a way to identify trade continuation, obviously. like I said, you just first just be very confident with using SMT divergences. Be very confident with or be very thorough with marking SMT divergences on your chart, especially sequential SMT divergences. That basically means SMTs that occur between two different quarters. Like for example, you have two 90-minute quarters. One has the low here and the other one has the low here. And this is on gold, right? And this is a 90-minute portion of price action. This is another 90-minute portion of price action. And then you have silver in between the same price lows and at the same time creating a lower low. That's how you know. Or not necessarily how you know, but that's what gives you confidence. But, you know, first and foremost, looking at the way gold is regaining bullish momentum here, and looking at how it closed above this 5-minute bearish FVG above its mean threshold, I would say again it's looking pretty bullish. Also look at the 1035 candle. It's a fractal candle. We also had sequential SMT divergence here where we had the 90-minute Q3 going under 90-minute Q4 going under 90-minute Q3. So this is a classical continuation, bullish continuation type of setup. Quite classic. So we had gold creating lower lows, and these are the lows of two different quarters, and we have silver creating higher lows. These are the lows of two different quarters. Exactly what I was talking about. And we're seeing gold really not seem to care about, or really doesn't seem to care about that bearish FVG that it created here on the 5 minutes on the 1030 candle, because it just blasted above it. It's going to be interesting to see if it's going to have any sort of reaction in here. I'm actually going to mark these candles here because this is an area where we had, what was that, PSP candles, I think someone said? PSP. It was coming from pivot price point, so yeah, PSP. But if we're just going to close above this area, 44.82, that's going to be really cool. But look at how the 30-minute BISI, it's this one over here. Look at how the 30-minute BISI was reclaimed. Because, you know, it looked as if it was this one over here. It looked as if it was invalidating it. And then it reclaimed it. Closed above it. Had a retest, and then started pushing higher. But again, it's all about reactions. It's all about how gold reacts to certain price levels. Because if you're looking at this area here, this could be an area where it could react bearish from, especially because it seems to like the bullish momentum seems to be fading away, unless, obviously, unless it's going to find support here. inside this bullish FVG. But to consider it found support, you would have to see it reject and go above these wicks here and close above them, you know, create a higher high close. So we currently reclaimed, we inversed that 5-minute SIBI on the 10:30 candle, but I would love to see it, honestly. If it ought to continue to move higher, if I would consider that, you know, really trust it, I would say it has to go above here. Above the 10:30 M5 candles high. Close above there, obviously, because everything is about candles closing. Really shouldn't be doing anything without candles closing. We have a $5 gift here from Patricia. Thank you, Patricia. I really appreciate it. Yeah, you guys, did you know that you can actually donate to this live stream? So Patricia, price range. Price range. Oh, I actually had no idea that thing is there. Haha, I don't use it. I think it's there plotted by my boyfriend because he's also using my TradingView, my laptop sometimes. So he probably must have plotted that there, the price range. Yeah, I'm just blame the boyfriend. But yeah, I'm usually not using it because I just don't know how. Yeah, really tricky price action. Really, really tricky. Especially on the 1 minute, because you know it just keeps on going back and forth. You know, I can actually look at this whole area, all these swing highs, all these lower highs here. I can only look at them as trendline liquidity. I'm just looking at it right now. I don't know. It looks quite obvious. It's going to be really interesting to see how price will break above all of these swing highs. Because all of these are liquidity right now, and we are in a bullish market. Yeah, so price, slowly but surely, it seems to be heading north. Like I said, I'm still not forgetting about this, what was that, 45, 945? Yeah, 945 bearish inversion here on the 1 minute. If we could just snap above that, just think about it, like really just snap above it. Yeah, just like that, exactly. Yeah, but you know, just like sort of like continue, because like I said a little earlier, all these swing highs here, I see those as trendline liquidity, but it's really important how, like it's really important to ask yourself, how is the liquidity being used? How does price seem to react after absorbing part of that liquidity, because if you see that the reaction is like poke it and then close back inside the range that it broke above, then it's clearly not a strong indication that the liquidity is being used as a continuation, as a fuel, right? However, if you see price closing above, maybe retesting, maybe slightly going under that level, but not necessarily closing under it, especially with big bearish momentum candles, not doing that, and then starting to slowly but surely continue to create higher highs, that's actually a good indication that you can trust the fact that you're looking at a long continuation. It's not mandatory that price would actually absorb all the buy side liquidity above all these highs. However, you can expect for price to actually want to push higher, especially if you're looking at the higher time frames, slightly higher time frames, like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and you're seeing that there are, you know, PD arrays that price might want to revisit. It's not really the case right now, honestly. I mean, I don't see any reason, like I don't see any reason why this would be just a pullback. There's no reason on the higher time frames, like the 15 minutes, the 30 minutes, the 1 hour. There is only this reason on the 1 minute, which is, like I said, the 945 inversion. But I don't know. We'll see. Because for now, we just created bullish FVGs and sort of like respected them. Of course, this doesn't mean that it's going to continue infinitely, but yeah. Like, for example, you see this first line or this first area of liquidity over here that we took, that one, which also created this bearish SMT divergence. That's not a nice indication that we're actually likely gonna push higher, especially not here on the 1 minute. We might actually see price creating a pullback on the 1 minute. So if you're looking for entry setups on the 1 minute, it would be a good time for you to stay away from that, okay? If you're like a breakout trader and you're thinking, well, I'm gonna go long when price breaks above here and you're already in a long, maybe it's time to reconsider. What do I have here? Or maybe you didn't yet enter and you're considering taking long, and it could be a good time for you to sit on your hands for a while. Yeah, what a ping pong, you guys. Really, really such a big ping pong. It could reclaim this bearish FVG here on the 5 minutes. I mean, for now it's respecting the 50% level. This was London high, wasn't it? Yeah, London high. Yeah, you see it's sort of like closed back under high of London, but then back above it. Not really sure if it still has a lot of force. You know, I'm not sure if the force is with this one right now, because it's quite late in the day and we might be out of momentum for the AM session, which is already coming really close to an end. I mean, we're already within the last part of it. 6 hours of New York AM session and it's coming to an end. We're within the last hour of the AM session. Oh, and look at the comeback. Yeah. Wacky price action. I do like how we sort of like respected the 50% level of this little bullish price, like over here. If you're gonna go on the 1 minute and plot a fib here. From 1037 swing low to 1101 swing high, you see that we nicely respected the 50% level here with the bodies, with everything. However, I'm not happy with how this bearish FVG formed here, overlapping the 25% level, because we could be seeing it go down to the 75% level, especially if it's going to close under 50. It could actually go lower. But again, nothing to say, yeah, short, go short on the 5 minutes, or on the 15 minutes, or on the 30 minutes, or on the 1 hour. Nothing really. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm gonna call. Oh my God. Oh my God. You guys are really active here in the chat. I was about to say it's time to call it a day, but okay. Hello, how often do you go live? I'm tuned in from the Netherlands. Hi. I usually go live Tuesday to Friday. Every weekday except Mondays. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Yeah, I'm going live tomorrow as well. What do I use to identify sessions on my chart? Patricia asking. There's this indicator, which is called, hold on. Where is it? Where is it? Hold on. Como vou de indicatori? Hold on. Oh. Okay, so I have an indicator. Hold on, settings. It's called Lux Algo ICT Kill Zones Toolkit. You can see my settings here. Just take a screenshot of it because it has a lot of settings. Yeah, just take screenshots or pause the video when we're gonna get out of the live. Okay. I'm also trying to get into trading, and I followed what you did, and I made 100 euros. A shame it was on my demo account. Actually, it was not a shame. It was good it was on your demo account, because if you made that money following what I do, instead of understanding what I do and applying what I do based on your own terms and based on your own understanding, I think it's better that this money was on demo, because if it would have been on a live account, you would have said, oh, it's so easy to follow what someone is doing, and look at me, I'm so good at doing this, I'm so good at doing money, I'm so good at trading. And the moment you know it, you would start to trade on your own, but without actually having the real understanding of what it really means to trade. Not what it means from an execution standpoint, like buy, sell, deposit money, withdraw funds, or anything like that, but what it actually means from a psychological perspective. Yeah, Manut's gold exaggerates every move. It does it not? Do you guys remember the good old days when we used to trade Euro USD and we were so freaking happy doing it? Euro USD, when we were upset of having a 5 pip stop loss hit and we were happy with 10 pips profit. Like, where are those days, really? Yeah, I guess we're just being greedy right now, aren't we? We're being greedy, you guys. I'm saying this because we've stepped away, we've moved away from technical pairs like Euro USD because they don't move a lot, they're not that volatile as gold is, and we feel like we can't make a lot of money with it fast. But the problem with this type of thinking is the fact that it's like you're rushing somewhere. And you know, every time you're rushing somewhere, you will actually get farther and farther away from reaching that destination or that goal or whatever it is. I guess. Yeah. Would you look at that? Goldilocks. Okay, guys, time to call it a day. If you have an itchy mouse, meaning if you still want to trade, at least just wait for the PM session after 2 p.m. Yeah, man, it's me neither. I don't even want to watch Euro USD, but I think we're doing a big mistake. A big mistake because Euro USD is still the most technical pair that you will ever see. And if you guys want to learn trading, I would definitely recommend you do it on Euro USD because it's a very it's a pair that it's very much in equilibrium with itself. It's not crazy, it's not exaggerating, it's not all over the place. It just does what it has to do and that's it. which I think it's amazing. Those red lines you drew at the tips of the candle, what are they? They are SMT divergences. SMT divergences. And what do they tell you? They tell me whether price is likely to, or if there are more chances that that move that just took place, it's a break of structure or it's a sweep of liquidity. It clarifies, but within a certain context, obviously. Bye minutes. Have a nice day, evening, night. Bye. Yeah, so really glad didn't fell for the short, because it would have been painful. So you guys can see that even though price didn't really, even though it didn't really seemed as if it wanted to stay above this high or above this one, it's actually slowly but surely just creating higher highs and higher lows, or at least equal lows, but silver is definitely creating higher lows. It's a weird situation. Okay, I'm being told to cut the crap, call it a day. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Really appreciate you being here. Again, Happy New Year to everyone. And I really look forward to having such a great and fantastic year together and independently as well. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button or give a thumbs up to the video if you learned something, or if you have any suggestions, I am gladly waiting for those in the comments. Until there, take care, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.